My name is Jim Barnes. I am the CEO of Envista. Envista is a global software company focusing around supply chain commerce and unified commerce. Unified commerce, simply stated, is really the construct of putting the customer at the center of your universe. Compared to omnichannel, which is really more around enabling fulfillment and execution from stores or DCs, unified commerce is really the way you engage in terms of anywhere, any place, anytime commerce. PIM and unified commerce are not the same thing. So what a product information management, or PIM, is really focused around item master, variants and attributes and pricing of an item, where unified commerce, yes, there is an item master component to it, but unified commerce is just focusing on not only item, inventory, fulfillment, customer, carrier, shipper, etc. So it's more than just PIM, it's really looking at how do you actually engage the customer anywhere, any place. The big advantage about having a unified commerce mindset where the customer is at the central focal point as a retailer is the fact that you're trying to create a seamless experience regardless of how he or she engages with you. And with that said, again, if I'm buying online or if I'm picking up product in the store or buying in the store, I want that experience both physically and digitally to be the same. We don't want there to be a disconnect in the way your consumer or customer buys from you. The major components of a unified commerce strategy are really four major constructs. The first strategy is I have to have inventory visibility and available either to sell or to promise. And unfortunately, many retailers today don't really have a common view of inventory. That's the first construct. The second construct is really this concept of omnichannel fulfillment. So I've got to be able to fulfill the item any place in terms of my store, a 3PL, a DC, or a vendor. The fourth construct is in terms of what we call point of engagement, meaning that when I engage with a customer, I want to make sure that it's a unified experience in terms of not just selling to them, but also engaging them from a clienteling perspective. And the last is really around what I call order maintenance or customer care. So if something actually happens to the item or the order, my ability to be proactive in terms of actually fixing the problem before my customer notifies me about the problem. That's what unified commerce and the strategy. Unified commerce is much more of a mindset that says I'm going to put my customer at the first and foremost. I've got to be customer obsessed. I'm not just transacting, but I'm also engaging. At Envista, when we say that business in every direction is the ability to basically sell anywhere, fulfill anywhere, both virtually and physically. If you look at what's happening in retail, traditional retailers, the product had to be present, the customer had to be present, the sales associate had to be present. Now, with inventory being, quite frankly, one of the largest portions of a company's working capital, they're disconnected. And they need to be disconnected because I just can't sell what's in my store. I've got to be able to sell from an enterprise perspective. So with that said, my technology platforms have to enable me to basically buy anywhere, ship anywhere, fulfill anywhere, but also return anywhere. Going beyond unified commerce, we believe the next generation of platforms are going to be more predictive than just historical, using statistical forecasts to figure out how to allocate inventory from a site or a node. But by using AI, deep learning, machine learning tools, we're going to predict in advance in terms of where I allocate inventory from a node or a site. 2020 Insights, we believe, and I believe, that the real focus will be around retailers. The winners and losers will really focus on the concept of one-to-one relationships with their consumer. In the past, retailers have been focused on a concept of one-to-many because it's fact that it's economical, it's more efficient and effective. But the reality is consumers really want that one-to-one experience. So the winners in retail are going to be focusing on one-to-one insights, making that consumer really feel special about that experience. So those who are focusing on that one-to-one relationship are going to win the battle of retail. There are a number of unified commerce players in the market today, but I think the key distinction is what are they unifying? Where you're going to see consolidation is best of breed software providers who put the tagline Unified Commerce next to their solution or platform, but they only do one thing. The reality is, if you're going to unify commerce, there's some truisms that have to take place. First is, I've got to manage item variants and item attributes. I have to manage inventory and optimize inventory. I have to optimize fulfillment and execution, and also manage all the exceptions around the life cycle of the order, getting one view of the customer from end to end. Granted, there are many providers that do portions of that, but true unified commerce platforms that do all of that are going to be the winners today in the market. If you look at those providers, Magento, Shopify, BigCommerce, to me, they're just a demand signal or a sales transaction signal that happens to be e-com. It's just one component of a much bigger opportunity beyond just physical. What they lack is the brick and mortar component of the actual technology stack or platform. If I'm going to have a unified experience, I've got to manage both the physical and the digital experience. Those providers today only handle one. We actually handle both. That's the difference.